Okay, what's up, YouTubers? This is Herm Says Play to Win. I have another replay for you from War Thunder Ground Forces Simulator Battle. So today I'm in my T-34-85 with the D-5T gun. So as you can see, this medium tank is pretty mobile, pretty agile. So, yeah, the one drawback about this particular tank is that the gun lacks a bit of penetration power. So it can't fire an APCR round, unlike the other T-34-85 that is actually rank 4. So this tank, if it's fighting a more heavily armored opponent, like say a Panther, oftentimes you have to maneuver to try to get some side shots or aim for weaker parts of the armor, such as say the flat parts of a Panther's turret. So can be a little bit of a challenge to fight in this tank. So we're on the map, let's see, this is Ash River, and this was actually a full battle. So it was 16 on 16, and so I wanted to play cautiously in the beginning to get a feel for where the enemies are. And I was seeing already that there were friendlies taking shots at enemies directly ahead of my position at this point, and so I was thinking there could be enemies nearby. I don't want to expose myself unnecessarily. So here we are hanging out, waiting for things to develop a little bit. Seeing if we get any contacts. Okay, so at this point, enough of the external glamour shots. Switch over to the first-person view I had in the game. Okay, so pushing ahead cautiously to see what's over there. And switch to the cheater's artillery view. Don't really see anything, but I know there's a TD down there because it just set this friendly AI KV-1 on fire. So I know he's down there, I just can't see him. Okay, it was at this point that I noticed there were contacts to my north. And so spotted this Tiger 1 climbing up the hill towards our spawn. So line up a shot through the grass, set him on fire. Now, yeah, this is a tactical disadvantage of playing with all the grass on. So I hate the way the bare ground looks in this game. And so I wasn't able to track this guy, but he did burn down, and I did get the kill. So immediately another Tiger pops up right in front of me.
Roger that. Fire.
And he wasn't feeling particularly brave. Meanwhile, an enemy medium decides to drop artillery on me while I drop artillery on the Tiger. So after shooting the ground twice trying to hit this guy, I pushed forward along with this other T-34-85, and we make pretty short work of this Tiger. So I put one shot into his side, wait for the reload, and finish him off. So push forward a little bit. And now I see an enemy Panzer IV-G. I have no idea why this guy was driving like this. I suspect he was a bot. I mean, he was completely oblivious to the two Tigers getting shot and getting killed. So, I don't know what was up with that. Pushing forward cautiously. Now all I see is this AI Stoke 3F. It's pretty annoying how some of these AI vehicles can be unreasonably hard to kill sometimes. And so 2 shots in, still alive. Going for the 3rd shot, and finally, he's dead. Okay. Pushing forward a little bit. See another AI, this time a Panzer III. Okay, first shot goes into the gun mantlet, which was unfortunate. This guy was set on fire. Now this next shot, I would think, should have killed this guy because it went right through his turret roof. Okay, anyway, 3 shots. And the AI's dead. Now, if you've been keeping track of all the kill spam, there was a whole lot of fighting in this game because it was a full match, 16 on 16. And so the enemy Tiger 1 squad, so 2 Tiger 1s, they were actually doing pretty well. They were pretty much mowing through, you know, probably, I don't know, 2/3 of the T-34s we had back near our base. So at this point we were actually behind on vehicles and points. So the plan here is to actually go for capture of point A. Decided to take a look to see if there were any enemies just camping around in their own base. Don't want to take any chances. So here I am taking the lead. No enemy contact so far. Trying to decide which way to go. I decide to go toward the northern spawn of the enemy. At this point I caught sight of an enemy contact. It was sitting somewhere in the lower ground. Decided to check that out, just because I didn't want to be surprised by an enemy player, if for whatever reason there's an enemy player just camping around down there. Okay, so it turns out this was an AI Panzer IIIL. So he was so well hidden in the shadows of that tree next to that rock that I didn't spot him initially. So I think at this point I actually do spot the AI Panzer III. Unfortunately, due to the poor gun depression of the T-34-85, I had to pull way, way forward in order to shoot him. So I don't even have enough gun depression until this point. And then set him on fire. And he burns out. So another AI kill. So my buddy, the other T-34-85, decides he wants to go cap point A. And instead of sitting in the cap with him, I decide to hang out here to do Overwatch. Just to watch the southern spawn, the approaches from the enemy southern spawn. Now in hindsight, this was not a very good place for me to sit, because I would be vulnerable to attack from any enemies that respawn at the northern spawn. So I kind of realized this at this point, and trying to decide where to go. And right about now I notice on the mini-map that an enemy TD has shown up, and in fact there was a brief glimpse of him just now, and I wanted to get the hell out of there so I don't end up in his crosshairs. Having ended up down here, so this was not actually a very good decision to circle all the way around. But since I ended up down here, I decided I would circle all the way around to the far end of the enemy's northern spawn. And that way I can keep watch of that spawn and engage anyone that spawns in there. Yeah, the enemy Tiger 1 squad did really well. They actually more or less carried their team. I mean, if it wasn't for those two Tiger 1s, their team would have been a lot less competitive. Also, I want to give a shout out to Super iCoke on our team. So he was in a T-34-87. Played a really good game. He was top scorer on our team, and he was able to take out a lot of the enemy tanks that were threatening our base. And so here I am, hanging out in the shadows, keeping watch, seeing if enemies respawn at this location, and checking to my side, make sure nobody's sneaking up on me from there. Okay, not seeing any respawns, and seeing that there were no recent deaths of enemies that had respawns, I decided to push forward. To provide overlook of the other approaches to the cap. So that Tiger 1's actually dead, but that Panther D up there definitely was not dead. I decided to drop artillery on him just to try to rattle him a little bit. Try to see if he would make a mistake. So I knew he had to pull forward a little bit in order to get shots on our cappers. And luckily for us, one of my ranging shots from the artillery actually managed to take this Panther D out. So that neutralized that threat. And so we're almost done camping. At this point, there are 3 of us T-34s in the cap. And so good job to our defenders at our own cap. we're able to fight off all the enemies. So that Tiger 1 right there, he's actually been dead for a long time. It's just that in this open beta there's sometimes graphical glitches where dead tanks don't dematerialize like they should. So we're just about done capping at this point. And we were expecting some kind of respawn because there was one last vehicle. So this Panzer IV-H right here. So he's engaged one of my buddies. Meanwhile, I put a shot into his side and knock out 3 of his crew, including his driver, so he's stuck there. Just waiting to line up another shot. Unfortunately, my shot went low and hit the dirt. So, it's too late for this guy, and I decided to drop the artillery. Why not? So he gets taken out by the other T-34-85, and that's the game. So the fortunate thing here is that this friendly T-34-57 Mod 43, who drove right under the artillery, didn't get taken out, because if he had gotten taken out, I would have had to pay a hefty fine. Okay, anyway, so that was the game, and yeah, it's a pretty big battle, and went well for our team in the end. Good job to the T-34s on our team. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for more.